What's going on, Bulls Nation? Welcome into the CHGO Bulls Podcast, coming to you live from our studios here in West Loop, downtown Chicago. I'm Peck, Bulls_Peck, Big Dave, bam, BNWL Sports, Will the Go Gottlieb, Will_Gottlieb, and rocking with us on the controls today, the one and only Law on the Draw. What's up, Law?
Loud out.
How you doing?
Loud
Doing
out.
great. Well, back-to-back, just did the Hawk Show. Now you're hanging out with us.
Yeah, that's why you just saw a random thing on the screen that I didn't want on the screen. But yeah, we're good. We're good. Everything's great. Everything's awesome. How's everyone doing?
We power through.
Great.
Lots of fun stuff to get to today. We carry on with our player and team profiles ahead of the 24-25 season. We're talking Josh Giddey, prove-it goals today, and we're talking the young up-and-coming Orlando Magic today. Yeah. For that, though, a couple quick things to get to. First, we didn't mention it on yesterday's show because Fred was here.
Woo,
so
shout out.
Chaos.
C-Red.
But
He killed it.
shout out to lots of our colleagues for holding it down. Back-to-back champions
Back to
of the Chicago Media Cup 16-inch softball league.
We need the
trophy. Where's the trophy? Is Mario still drinking out of it?
Mario took some of the coolest pictures, bro.
Dude.
That joint was nice, bro. He took some real cool
I feel like
photos.
he was ready for a parade.
Yes, he was. And he's
There it is.
Look at it.
There is the cup.
Look at it.
Where's the cup? It is right here on our set. Shout out to lots of our co-workers. Mario was playing in that championship game.
Yeah.
Ryan from CHGO Cubs.
Yep, Joey was there.
Joey was there. Got a line drive.
Herb was there.
Yeah, Herb was there.
Oh, he
of
caught a
course,
line drive?
always. No, Joey ripped a line drive that was caught by other Herb, a.k.a. Lawrence Holmes.
We got to talk to Joey. I wanted to get his take on what everything
I know.
was
Well, Joey's back with us tomorrow. So
Yeah.
also
it was
get
great,
his 2
guys.
cents
It was
on
awesome. Everyone played really great, and it was a real positive experience. Well, Joey,
That's pretty good. I like that. That was nice.
He does kind of have a gravelly voice. I never really noticed it until Law just did that impression.
Yeah, a little Coach Gravel in it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like that.
But awesome that we are 2-time champs now. I say we, but I mean,
it's we.
There's no coincidence that I played the first season of our team existing, and then I retired, and then they won 2 championships after I retired.
I retired an All-Star.
That's right, All-Star. I remember I did have to pinch hit for you when you tore your pec or something. Or no,
I tore everything.
I don't know what you tore.
He tore it all. He tore it all.
And yes, Colin in the comments, we are going for that 3-peat, of course.
Mm-hmm.
Of course. Got to hold it down.
Chicago, we do that.
Shout out also to the runners-up over there at Odyssey.
Odyssey.
Just can't quite get over the hump.
4 times is nothing to sneeze at there.
It is not.
4 times straight.
Our guy Kate referred to it as the Buffalo Bills of the Chicago Media Softball League.
Man. Shout out to one of my favorite teams, the Buffalo Bills. But yeah, that just lets you know that they'll be back for more.
I
next
mean,
year.
one of the greatest rivalries in sport right now.
Yeah. In sports. Yes.
Yeah.
I like it.
All of the sports.
All of the sports.
Also, Goat, were you as bummed as I was when we got the Woj bomb of all Woj bombs earlier today? Adrian Wojnarowski retiring from his ESPN gig, going to be a GM at his alma mater, St. Bonaventure. No one saw that coming.
I feel like we throw the term GOAT around a lot.
Yeah, we call you that every goddamn
We call
day.
me that.
Damn. Lawrence just firing at everybody. He's feeling good.
But Woj is like truly the greatest of all time at what he did. Pretty massive day.
Yeah.
In the NBA news sphere.
You know, obviously some of his other ESPN colleagues taking the time to shout him out in various ways on their shows, their platforms, their personal, Twitter handles. It's going to be weird. Like, Woj alerts coming across the push notifications on the top of my phone has been a massive part of my life.
Massive.
And let's not comment on how sad that is, but a massive part of my life for a dozen years, a decade. It's like, what? Oh God, what did Woj just tweet?
Oh,
It's crazy that that's just not going to be a thing anymore.
I'm sorry. Don't comment on how
I mean,
it's hilarious. Oh my gosh. But you're right. Anytime somebody would send me anything like a tweet or something, and I would just see those 3 letters within that tweet, Woj, immediately I'm clicking. I'm like, oh, what's happening? What's going on? I was like, what is this?
Yeah.
I was like, what is this? What's going on? What's going on? But being a GM at your alma mater is really, really cool. So shout out to him for that. And I'm sure, the stress just gets to you. You know, having to be first all the time will wear on you.
It's tough.
You know what I mean? It'll wear on you, man.
It's really hard.
Yeah. And he did it. I'm sure you know. Yeah. and he did it, you know what I'm saying? So effortlessly, at least it looked that way when he would do it. And just becoming the guy that we all trusted, to do his thing like that was, he gave us many, many wonderful days, many, many wonderful nights. Matter of fact, the last one we had when Kendall Gill was here. That was the Woj bomb about the Josh
Giddey trade.
That was a Woj bomb right
Didn't
there.
get very many Bulls-related Woj bombs in the past 3 years.
This
but
is true.
not a
you
ton.
always savor the ones that you got.
Yeah,
Heck
it's true.
yeah.
DeMar
Heck
was
yeah.
a Woj bomb. That was
Shams
one.
now has a monopoly.
I
on news
thought,
break.
wasn't it Chris Haynes who broke the DeMar sign and trade news?
You're right. That was Chris.
Yeah, shout out Chris Haynes.
Lonzo Ball,
Can't remember if that one was Woj. I would
Okay.
assume.
Caruso. Was up
The
there.
yeah.
But if he wasn't first, he was second.
Yeah.
And that's really how it goes. And he would come second with the details. Of
Yeah,
everything
I think it
with
was
too, so.
NBA on ESPN's Twitter account earlier today made this graphic of like Woj looking down at his phone and then like a bunch of little clipped Woj,
Yeah.
the biggest of Woj bombs over the last 10 years of NBA basketball. Like Paul George getting traded away from OKC, Westbrook getting traded to Houston, Kawhi deciding to sign with the Clippers, the Kawhi DeMar trade. The NBA suspending its season in March of 2020, then breaking the news about the bubble when they brought the league back. It's just like every giant story the NBA has had. Just be like, yeah, that's Woj.
The DeAndre Jordan being kidnapped, all of that, following along, watching him do that.
Yeah,
man. Woj just had so many moments, man. He'll be missed. Now, is this effective immediately, or is he putting in 2 weeks, or how does this work?
I mean, my guess is that yes. The way that he phrased it in his own announcement, I'm retiring. Like to me, that sounds like
I'm out.
I'm out.
Okay.
I'm guessing he had some amount of time left on his current contract with ESPN, whatever it was. Yeah. And we'll see what they do to try and fill those shoes. Isn't Shams a free agent right now?
He is a free agent right now.
So
Not much longer.
Not much longer at all. I mean, I think he'll be under that umbrella very, very soon. He will be there very, very soon. So.
Kevin in the comments saying his job seemed exhausting. Yeah, I'm happy for Woj.
Yeah,
because that's that job where like when do you get to put your phone down and breathe? Do you sleep?
Yeah,
the
GM of St. Bonaventure will allow you to get some sleep.
Yeah, I'm just gonna try and make the basketball team where I went to college better.
Now, I did hear someone say though that in today's NIL era in college, being a GM of a school like the Bonnies, where they're A10, probably have a lot of movement in the portal. Like, how much sleep is he going to get? He's got to worry about paying guys how much.
I think it's more like when you are running at the very top, the way that Woj has been for the last however many years, 15 years. That's like, I feel like there's an element of stress and exhaustion that you get from that as compared to when you're trying to build something from the ground up. I think that I would imagine that would be a lot more exciting for him. So I feel like it's a different amount of work, a different kind of work, but I could see in a second career move that being pretty exciting to someone. I feel like that.
Yeah. And I didn't he kind of sign off with that? The last part of his little note that he posted earlier today was, after all these years reporting on everyone's teams, I'm headed back to my own, which is really dope.
It's a flex right there.
Hell yeah.
That's a flex, ain't it? I for real thought he meant his family when he said that.
That's what I thought too.
Really
that was
did.
my first assumption was my team, I'm just going to go chill with the fam.
Yeah. And I'm like, cool, man, get you a farm,
But,
chill out.
Yeah.
It's all good, man.
My guess is he will have more time to hang out with his family
Correct.
and his loved ones by taking this other job.
Class of 91.
Yeah.
Shout out to him, baby.
Shout out to our guy Fish in the comments saying you love to see somebody go out on their own terms. That's
Sure.
right.
It is the best, man. So shout out to him for that. And we'll be following along. Do you think anybody will sign with the Bonnies just because Woj is there? You think so?
I mean, maybe. Is there a draw of like, yo, I'm Woj. I have literally every connection of every important NBA person in my Rolodex.
Exactly.
Maybe.
Okay. I think it's a thing. Yeah.
I mean, the Rolodex is the only reason.
It's a thing. Just saying.
Kids, a Rolodex is a thing that people used to have on their desks next to their landline phone. That were just little pieces of paper that had people's phone numbers written on them, or you would staple people's business cards into them.
Well, here's like,
wait, what are staples?
Sarah,
what are staples?
You know, have you ever heard of a Rolodex? There it is.
I don't know.
That's the Gen Z population of the office.
Sean's heard of one. Sarah, not so much. She's not sure.
What's a Rolodex?
She's not sure. She's just not sure. We'll figure it out there. We'll show you one.
We shall.
Also cool news, NBA media related news. Mike Singer is going. He's the former Nuggets beat writer for the Denver Post. Is going to be the director of intelligence and strategy with the Nuggets. That's pretty cool.
Wow.
That is. I didn't think you were going to say for the Nuggets. I thought I was going to say for the American.
That sounds like something governmental. Director of intelligence.
FBI.
He left the paper like a year and a half ago or something to write a book about Jokic, and then is now going to work for the team. That's pretty sweet. Congrats to him.
Do our DNVR Nuggets friends know him? I think they do.
I'm sure
I think they've mentioned that he has come to hang out at their bar a few times.
He's
maybe gets a little extra insider info for our Nuggets crew.
He's even been around, Bulls games and stuff. I've gotten to know him a little bit from
right. Does the position director of intelligence exist within the Bulls staff tree? I'm not sure it does. We could use that.
I don't think it's a thing.
We could use one of those.
I mean, maybe. But, right now, let's get the shooting right.
Yeah. Can we do that?
Can we do that, baby? Let's get these shots together on this squad. Will, one more question. I forgot to ask you this. When we were talking about you trying out for the Windy City Bulls, also shout out to Will Gottlieb for trying out for Windy City Bulls. Go read his article that he wrote about doing that right now. For the diehards. Become a diehard now. Just a simple, therapist question. How did you feel, after it was over? Did you feel like you left it out there?
On me for this.
I'm serious, though. Do you feel like you left everything out there on the floor? You feel like you really did all you could really do?
I don't think I was I didn't play the greatest game of basketball I've ever played. I didn't
sure.
try the hardest I've ever tried in sports in my life. But I was definitely relieved and happy that I did it. I had a lot of nerves going into it, and I was like, is this going to be worth it? Am I just going to embarrass myself? Is this am I going to get hurt? But I was really glad I did it.
Yeah. I'm glad you did it too, man. I think you need to do that. I want to see video from it. I know Joey's
putting together. I don't know if you call it a highlight reel, but
I saw
a reel.
I
me
saw
existing.
I can't wait.
Highlights, baby.
I can't wait to see that highlight reel.
I saw the clips. I heard it's coming, baby. It's on the way.
Should we have Joey overlay it with the Only the Bulls song? Who can set the court on fire?
Unfortunately, it wouldn't work in this situation. That only works when bad things are going on. Unfortunately,
there were many bad things happening.
But you missed some shots.
That was kind of my inference there, Dave.
I understand that. I'm with you, sir.
Matt in the comments saying shout out, go. Yeah, it's really cool that you did that. And
very cool.
From what I read from your column and what I've seen the clips from thus far, held your own. You're here and physically intact.
Yes.
I would not have been able to do that.
This comes from an all-star here. He broke everything every week. Every week Matt came in here bandaged up. It was usually the hamstrings. Bandaged up.
Not an ace bandage big enough in the world. Not an ice pack big enough in the world.
To smelling like icy hot and big man.
I'd really pretty much just, I would slap a giant ice thing on both thighs and then self-medicate with very heavy ABV beers after. Just take the edge off a little bit.
Just the skills. Was there something you did after it was over? Or did you just go home?
I just went home.
Okay.
I laid down on the couch and I iced various body parts. And I didn't move for quite a few hours.
You earned that, though.
Yeah, you earned that, brother.
We got to take a quick break. On the other side, we're talking Josh Giddey and his goals for the upcoming Bulls season.
Coors Light, beer, drink it. It's delicious. It's awesome. Who knows this? This guy. Look at him. He's choosing chill, ladies and gentlemen, and you can do the same. Between work, social media, and the choices life throws our way, it's no wonder that we're more worked up. Coors Light celebrates rising above and choosing a chill mindset. Why not turn that rained-out barbecue into the Will to Go Gottlieb 3-point shooting contest and karaoke house party event, 14th annual. Or, after a tough loss, settle scores with the ice cold peace offering. Make the choice to choose chill, then reach for a Coors Light. It's that mountain cold refreshment. Because when on mountain turn blue, oh yes, you know what to do. Cold lager, cold filtered, cold package for a smoother finish. When you embrace that chill mindset, it's a good time to choose chill and crack them with a Coors Light. That mountain cold refreshment that is crisp and refreshing as the Colorado. All right. Make the most out of choosing your times to choose chill. And choose Coors Light. Get Coors Light delivered straight to your door via Instacart. Going to CoorsLight.com/CHGO basketball. That's CoorsLight.com/CHGO basketball. Celebrate responsibly. Coors Brewing Company, Golden, Colorado.
Today's show also brought to you by our friends at Sunnyside Cannabis Dispensary, who are here to help you elevate the tail end of your summer and your fall. Sunnyside's your home for judgment-free cannabis shopping. They have a crazy selection with over 100 different strains to choose from, with easy online ordering and in-store pickup. Easiest way to pick up what you need and get on about your day. Wherever you are in Illinois, Sunnyside has a location for you and near you. They have spots as far south as Champaign. Shout out Kendall Gill. As far north as South Beloit. Stop in the store nearest you for expert guidance from their staff and select from quality lines like Cresco and Floricow. Got to check out Good News' new Tea Time disposable vape, bringing classic lemonade flavor that's perfect for the golf course, just like Arnold Palmer, because we all need a little help staying loose on those greens. Also, be sure to check out the Free Spirit vapes and cartridges, all new from Good News with a lush mango flavor. These vapes are perfect for tapping in to your flower power. Mm-hmm. And, you know, every time I swing by, I got to pick up some of those Good News brunch gummies, those little tangerine flavored guys. Ooh, delicious. Hit the spot just right. You can get those, too, by visiting sunnyside.shop for Bright Buys every day, including 50% off. That's 50, your first 3 online purchases with promo code HICHGO entered at checkout to qualify. Mm-hmm. That's 50% off your first 3 online purchases. Promo code HICHGO. Exclusions apply. Sunnyside Cannabis Dispensary. Bright Buys every day, only for 21 and over or Illinois Med card holders.
Hey, 2 things real quick. Shout out Shirtless Wonder who's out there grilling. Please tell us what you're grilling.
Seriously,
really
bring some over, please.
Yeah,
better be meat.
Second, shout out to Andrew McKay. Put that up right there, Lawrence.
I saw it too.
Put that up right there, sir. Our guy Andrew. Go ahead, man. Go ahead.
Just asked my 18-year-old son if he knows what a Rolodex is. Rolodex? No. Then I told him to empty the dishwasher and got the same answer. Shout out to all you hard-working parents out there. Oh, my goodness.
Well done, sir. Well done.
I mean, come on. Empty the dishwasher? That's like the easiest chore there is.
Yes.
That's not even like scrubbing and rinsing dishes to put in the dishwasher.
It's not.
Come on now.
Shirtless One is waving, says, thank you. Please, but we don't know what you eating. We trying to figure out what you grilling out there, man.
Ooh,
put a little
you just sprinkled some seasoning on it.
Yeah, you saw that.
Seasoning on there.
Yeah, a little bit. Hit that little bit. Oh, he pointing. Okay, he gonna let us know. Okay, bet he gonna let us know.
Let us know in the comments what you're cooking.
He gonna let us know.
In the meantime, let's start talking Josh Giddey, you guys. Our next Prove It on deck for this Bulls 24-25 roster. He was not here, so we don't have a Prove It from last season to look back on for Josh Giddey.
Yeah.
But just thought we could give a quick rundown of his last couple of seasons that he spent with OKC. Obviously, the big season that everybody was excited about with Giddey was year 2 in OKC. That's the season where he put up 16.5 points, 8 boards, and just over 6 assists per game on 31 minutes per game, 24.6 usage percentage. And then we saw all of those numbers kind of dip down this past season, 23-24. He went from 31 to 25 minutes a game. His scoring fell to 12.3 per. Boards fell to 6.4. Assists fell to 4.8. Usage fell 1.5 points to 23.1. And so I think obviously the big question coming into this is how will Josh Giddey be integrated into this current Bulls roster, and how aggressively are they going to try to make Giddey and his unique skill set the focal point and even possibly the engine of the Bulls offense, Dave?
Yeah, that is definitely the question. Because he can play multiple positions because of his size. So whether they have him at the forward position or whether they have him as the point guard will determine that, because I still think that's kind of up in the air. Even if they're talking about giving him the ball and letting him go and building around with him like that, it's still going to be important, I think, to know if he's going to be that forward, if he's going to be at that point guard position. So I think we'll figure that out in the preseason. Like, I think that'll be handled because it's going to be him or it's going to be Kobe. I don't think it's going to be anyone else out there. I'm not saying that disrespectfully to guys like Ayo or anyone else, but I just think it's going to be between those two guys when it comes to that point guard position. But Giddey is all like, when you look at his stats, it's like a roller coaster kind of thing, because you'll see something say, hey, and then the other part will just like, oh, like, really?
Fruit stripe gum.
So because when I was looking, I was like, oh, okay, his turnovers, that's cool. They went down every year. It's like 3.2 turnovers, 2.8, the 2.1. I was like, that's good. But then it's like, well, his assists went down also every single year, 6.4, 6.2 to 4.8. So, is it really a thing? I don't know. And then the three-point shooting that's been talked about, I was like, hey, he's improved every single year with his three-point shooting. I was like 26% to 32 to 34 that year. But his attempts also went down every single year as well. And it's hard to get just a grip on him exactly who he is at those things. We know he's not a great shooter. I don't think that's a debate right there. We know he's not a great defender. I don't think it's a debate right there either. But the guy can get the ball, get the rebound, and get out in transition and get that team moving and flowing that kind of way. We watched him do that in in the Olympics this season. He did that a ton. For a guy who can't score and doesn't have any moves, he still is going to be a double-digit scorer. He's still going to get you 12, 13 points, maybe 15 points this season, depending on how long he'll be out there. So I expect his minutes to be up, his opportunity to definitely be up. But where he'll be on the floor, Will, is probably my number one concern right now. Will he be that point guard or will he be that forward?
Yeah, I think with Giddey, like, we all know the things that he's good at. We all understand the things that he's not good at and how that impacts the rest of your team. When I did a show a couple weeks ago with Nate Duncan, which you guys should all go back and listen to, he used the term, he Giddeyizes the offense. He forces you to be a certain way. And I think that is the big question with this team, is like, how are they going to respond to that? Are they going to lean into it and put shooting and spacing around him? And if they do that, what does that mean for the other guys in the roster? What does that mean for usage for guys like Kobe and Ayo and Patrick? And then beyond that, like, well, why didn't that work in OKC when you have, he had opportunities with the ball in his hands over the last couple of years. So to me, I think it's not really about like what kind of counting stats can he put up. It's not really about like, does his usage get higher or lower, or it's just like, I just want to know, like, is this really the guy that the Bulls are trying to build around? And if so, like, can he prove that he's really worth that? And we could talk more about like the ways I think that needs to happen. But like, to me, all that other stuff is kind of just like on the side, because it's really like, is this guy a foundational piece? Because if he's not, then it's very difficult to make him a complementary piece. And if he is, great. How do you build around him?
Let me ask you, because I know you're not a guy that really puts too much stock as far as positions. You know what I mean? So right. Does it matter to you if he's at that 1 or at that 3, or does it just matter that he's on the floor?
No, it doesn't matter to me in that sense. I think it matters to me more when you think about like role. So it's like, is he going to be the lead guard? Is he going to be the secondary guard? Is he going to be a wing and like play off the ball? I don't think there are really any other options for him. He's obviously not going to be like a big. So I think it's really just like, and I think the question that's really answering is like, what is his usage like?
Sure.
And so I think that's the bigger question. Is he the guy that is primarily responsible for running the offense? And if he is, then how good does he need to be? Is he good enough to warrant that? And if not, then again, what is he doing to complement the other guys? And can he do that at a high enough level to where teams aren't just ignoring him?
The thing that, I'm very curious about, I'm curious about a lot with Giddey. And I mean, I think you nailed it there, Goat, of like, big picture, we just need to find out if this is a guy that they are a year from now glad that they traded for. Mm-hmm. And, less than a year from now signing to a big multi-year deal of some kind, because they do, after one season's worth of a sample size, decide we want to build around this guy. Mm-hmm. People in the comments, when I mentioned the unique skill set, having a laugh about like, is it unique in the fact that there are multiple things Giddey's good at, or is it unique in that like, well, he's like known for being good at one thing. And that's the part that concerns me, because I think you explain that well, Will, which is like, it's going to be really hard to make everything work around Giddey, but they clearly have to try, because he's not a piece that really, with what he can do and what he can't do, be used as a complementary piece. And that's why Kobe's here and expected to have a large role. Zach is here and, in my opinion, has to have a large role to hopefully prove to the league that he's still a player worth trading for. Sure. So how does Kobe and Zach and Giddey, how does Billy weave that together?
Yeah, because you really have – it's weird because you have a guy on the floor who is a pass-first guy. He wants to get others involved. But then the way it hurts you on the other end of the floor, because you're basically playing four guys, on defense, because he's not a defender at all.
Well, I think
But that size, can be disruptive in some kind of thing, but just – he's not a defender. It's just not his thing. But sure, he can get steals.
I think you can insert him into a team system, and have him survive.
We saw it with DeMar, so yeah, it can happen that way.
The problem is, it's not like you're replacing him with DeMar.
Right.
It's that you're replacing him with Caruso.
Yes.
So you have to find that disruption that you're talking about elsewhere. Yes. I think that's a really good point.
Correct. Exactly, sir. Exactly.
I think also it's probably worth talking about, diving deeper into what exactly I'm talking about in terms of how does he prove that he is worth the usage that it seems like he's going to need. Mm-hmm. And I think really, if you boil it down to one thing, it's scoring gravity. He needs to be able to put pressure on the rim. He needs to be able to get into the paint to draw help. He needs to be able to force defenses to close out to him when he has the ball or when he catches the ball. Teams cannot ignore him. And I think that really, it comes down to this idea that he has to be a threat scoring the ball. Because if he's not, then teams are going to ignore him or defend the pass.
Sure.
And that becomes really easy. So I think for me, it's can he beat guys off the dribble and get to the rim? Can he finish at the rim? Can he draw help once he gets into the paint and make the right play, which I believe he can. But it's more, can he break the guy down off the dribble in the first place to get into the paint? Or if he can't do that in isolation, how do the Bulls build an offense around a pick and roll system that can get him into the paint to where he can do that? I think that's the biggest question, just in terms of can the Bulls empower him to be the best version of himself? And if they can, I think it will be because he gets into the lane. I think that's really what Billy harped on with DeMar over these last couple of years, is he puts pressure on the rim, he puts pressure on the paint, and that opens up everything else. Kick out passes, drawing to putting the defense on tilt. All that stuff happens as a result of you pressuring the rim.
Sure.
And unless Giddey's able to do that, I find it to be really challenging for him to imagine him being really successful. And that can happen too if you're on the perimeter. Can you get people to close out to you? Can you shoot off the dribble? If teams go under on pick and roll, can you pull up over it? I think all those things factor into this equation, which is, can he be a scoring threat with the ball in his hands or without it?
Yeah, I expect him to put that pressure. I really do.
All right, Fish in the comments saying he can't dribble to the rim and he can't shoot free throws. Facepalm. Giddey actually did improve his free throw shooting from 73% year 2 to 80% last season, but he has not in any of his first 3 seasons ever had more than 2 free throw attempts per game.
See what I mean? You see what I'm saying?
It's
you know what I'm saying? Dude, it's so funny. It's so funny, man.
Yeah, but I think the gravity thing is key. Can you draw 2? Can you force doubles?
Yeah.
And then pass out of them to use your passing skills that way?
Our defense is scared of you.
That's really exactly.
Our defense is scared of you.
Or they'll just play you man-to-man. Okay, one more quick break. When we come back, we're going to assign our specific goals for Josh Giddey this upcoming season. Stick around.
FOCO.
Mm-hmm.
I say it's FOCO.
Hey-oh.
That's better? Yes, it is. Get fitted out in the best sports gear around. Where you do that at? You do that at FOCO. Hoodies, shoes, signs, bobbleheads, and everything in betwixt. Go into a basketball or hockey game. Show off your love for your team with those branded friendship bracelets, y'all. Because whether it's jackets, whether it's beachwear, or even the Will Gottlieb overalls, there is something for every fan for almost every single occasion. And also, they were hooking us up and continue to hook us up with set decoraciones. It's not a word, but I said it. So since they showed us love, why don't you go ahead and do the same for our peoples over at FOCO? Oh, you can go to FOCO.com or click the link in the description below for all non-pre-sale items. Use the promo code CHGO10 and get your beautiful self 10% off. Why? Because it's FOCO.
For show.
Oh, put an extra on there, did he?
What?
2 shows.
Always on his toes.
Because he just did 2 shows, so 2 shows.
Hey.
I see what you did.
Hey. Ray! Today's show brought to you by Ray Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram. Before you hit the road this fall, head to Ray Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram to start your adventure right there. This September, shop new lower prices across their huge inventory during the Jeep Adventure Days going on right now. For a limited time, you could lease the new 2024 Jeep Grand Cherokee Laredo for just $239 a month for 27 months. That's a Vooch contract. Or shop over 125 vehicles priced under $20,000. Let the amazing team at Ray CDJR help you during each step of your car shopping and buying journey. With that raised price promise, the numbers you're hearing right now, all these different offers are the same prices you can expect to shop in-store and online. That's because that raised price promise means no price changing, no add-ons, and never hidden fees.
Never.
Since they prioritize affordability for their customers, hurry into Ray CDJR today, shop one of Chicago's largest inventories, then drive home with more money in your pocket than you'd expect. Beep, beep. If you're in the market for a new vehicle, then you have to check out the team at Ray Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram because they are the only team we recommend. Visit them today on Route 12 in Fox Lake. For more information, visit Ray CDJR in Fox Lake or raycdjr.com. Serving the community since 1963.
Hey, Lawrence, did we hear back from Shirtless Wonder?
We did. He said, stopped at Sunnyside today, and it's patty melt time.
Hells to the yeah.
I love that.
I mean, it is National Cheeseburger Day, so patty melt counts.
So he's delicious. On brand. Shout out to the Wonder.
And I'm sure those fine products at Sunnyside got him in the perfect mood to eat a delicious patty melt.
Oh, yes. Oh, dude, you want to hear something mind-blowing?
Yes, always.
So Emma had never had a patty melt. No, she didn't even heard. She never heard of it.
I feel like they're not really a popular item these days.
It's not.
It doesn't surprise me that someone like a fetus like Emma has not heard of a patty melt.
It surprises me. It surprises me you never heard of one. Never had one is different.
That's a
never
diner
heard
thing,
of one.
isn't it?
No.
Right?
Yeah.
I mean,
but she told me she loves burgers, and I was like, oh, patty melt.
Yeah.
And she was like, what's that? You can't tell me you love burgers and don't know what a patty melt is. So
true.
I got her a patty melt. Her life is now forever changed.
Hey, there you go.
Her life is now forever changed.
Where from?
She loves them. When we were at Joe's, shout out to Joe's on Weed Street. Also, watch party happening at Joe's on Weed Street.
Week 3.
Week 3 right there.
Bounce
in your face,
win.
ladies and gentlemen. Go get one of those delicious patty melts while you're there. September 22nd, 11 a.m.
Are you going to be there?
Yes, I'll be there.
See, look at that.
I'm coming.
Say hi to Big Dave.
I'll be at the watch party because they were upset that I didn't show up there, watch the game with y'all, and they lost. So I was like, all right, I'll come. I'll show up. I'll show up to the watch party.
You got to, Dave.
Yeah. Well,
we need Bears W's.
Well, that's true.
If you're responsible for that, then you're responsible for that.
That's fair. Okay. You know what? Yeah, I can't argue this. You're right.
Okay, guys, let's talk Giddey Prove-Its. Mine, look, I have a lot of apprehension about what Giddey can be for the Bulls, what Giddey can be as an NBA player. I chose to focus on something that he does well that also has a weakness attached to it.
Sure.
Prove to us you can do this thing.
Okay.
And that thing being creative playmaking and setting up teammates with good looks, with his court vision, and, you know, some more up-tempo offense, ideally for the Bulls. I was looking at Giddey's assist-to-turnover ratio through his first 3 NBA seasons, and it's respectable. And it has modestly and gradually improved from rookie year to last season. His rookie year, his assist to turnover ratio was 2.02. Then it was 2.22. Last season, got that up to 2.3. And this is kind of a big ask.
Okay.
Might be a long shot. I want to see a assist to turnover ratio above 3.0 from Josh Giddey. We're talking about nearly a full point jump, but when we are talking about Giddey, the court vision guy, Giddey, the great, playmaker who can set up his teammates with great looks, and his Bulls offense, like setting up Zach LaVine, setting up Kobe White, getting Vooch good looks with his court vision. The other thing that's attached to that, like you were just saying, Dave, like, hey, this Giddey thing. He also has these like facepalm turnovers. He's always had these turnovers. If you watch a full, start to finish Josh Giddey NBA performance, where you also saw it for Team Australia in the Olympics this summer. It's like he has this court vision, and then at times he tries. It's like doing too much. He thinks he can thread some needle and make some pass that's not there and doesn't exist, and therefore leads to a lot of unforced, unnecessary, really ugly, frustrating turnovers. So prove to us that you do have that great court vision and playmaking ability and set up the ability to be a setup man for your teammates and cut down on those turnovers. Get your assist to turnover ratio to 3.0. Just to add a little bit of context, last season's assist to turnover leaders with the criteria of at least 50 starts.
Hit me.
Tyus Jones led the NBA with 7.35. A lot of other familiar names that you would probably not be surprised to see on this list. Halliburton, Fred VanVleet, Spencer Dinwiddie, Mike Conley all had assist to turnover ratios between 5.0 and 4.0. Tyrese Maxey, Derek White, James Harden, Terry Rozier, and DeMar DeRozan rounding out the top 10. DeMar with a 3.12 assist to turnover ratio last season. Only a handful of others across the league last season who had at least 50 starts managed to have an assist to turnover ratio at 3.0 or better, those being D'Angelo Russell, Jamal Murray, Kevin Huerter, and Dennis Schroeder. So, look, a pretty eclectic group of names there. Some of them stars, some of them quality role players, some of them just kind of like, It's possible. Josh Giddey can prove that he belongs in this category of players who their greatest strength supposedly is setting up teammates. And for the love of God, just cut down the unnecessary turnovers, man.
Yeah, you're asking them just to be better. You know what I mean? I don't think that's hard at all. Just be a better guard or forward or facilitator.
Yeah.
And, not just be that, I guess, just trying to thread that need like a quarterback, like a gunslinger is what I'm trying to say.
Right.
Like a
Jay Cutler. Triple coverage, I can fit it.
I could get it in there. You know what I mean? Like, no, make the right play, the right read, and that will cut down definitely on your turnovers. I'm with you. I like it.
I wonder though, like, do you think, like, for example, I think people had this discussion around guys like Steph Curry and Russell Westbrook and James Harden when they were kind of like in their primes in like the 2015, 2018 era, where it was like, yeah, they're going to turn the ball over a lot, but that's also because what they're doing is like inherent to their style of play or associated with the pace that they play, the amount of threes that they get up, the transition game. Like you necessarily have more turnovers. So I hear what you're saying, and I agree in the sense that like you need to take care of the ball a little bit more. And one of the things that the Bulls have done really well over the last 3 years is take care of the ball.
Yep.
The possession battle is a huge piece of what they're trying to do. But I also think that there's a balance to strike in terms of him being himself. And like, the Bulls want him to do a lot of the stuff that Lonzo did. Not to say Lonzo is or wasn't a high turnover player. I'm not sure what the number is, but it's like he got the ball ahead in transition. Like that's inherently a riskier play than dribble, pull up.
Yeah.
So I think that's like within the style, even I guess adding a little bit more to it is like within the style that they want you to play, which is faster pace, which is making aggressive reads. Like, can you turn that down within that? I think that's a really good one.
Yeah. I think that's a fair counterpoint, but just to suggest, hey, do you think Giddey can get back up to being someone who averages 6 or 6 and change assists per game wise, and then keep your turnovers to 2 per game? His turnovers per game were 3.2, 2.8, and 2.1, so he is cutting down his turnovers. Obviously some of that this past season was fewer minutes and a lesser usage, but like I hear what you're saying, Will, and yes, it's part of the style of play that makes Giddey Giddey. But I mean, I don't want to watch all season long for every great pass Giddey makes. He makes a pass that makes no sense and isn't there. I don't think that's too much to ask. Yeah. While also allowing him to still be himself on the court. Like, we're going to play a faster pace, hopefully. That can tend to lead to turnovers. Somebody in the comments mentioning the fact that Giddey's handles aren't great. That's part of the reason why the turnovers are always a factor there. Sure. I'm just asking him to be, not just a very creative passer, but one who can be in the top quarter of people who do that well, who play make and set up their teammates well, while also not turning the ball over in abundance of times.
No, I'm totally in agreement with you there. I'm not trying to make a counterpoint. I think it's like when you look at Tyus Jones, for example, very much a table setter, right? He's not like doing anything crazy, getting the ball all the way to the rim. Like he's feeding the guy coming off the screen for a jump shot, that kind of thing. I think if that's what Giddey turns into, to me, that would be a little bit of a disappointment because I think that means that he's not doing as much shot creation. He's doing the like passive point guard stuff and not the active rim pressure stuff. So I think it's within that style of play, turn it down. Not change who you are to lower your turnover percentage, but still be who you are and get better at it.
The
I think
controlled chaos.
Exactly. That's kind of more where I'm directing it, not disagreeing.
Gotcha.
I got you.
All right, Dave, what do you want to see from Giddey this season?
So there was, for me, the first thing popped in my head was like 3-point shooting, but I thought that was just too obvious. And I was like, yeah, of
we
course.
all know he's bad at that.
What I mean? No, not that. Like, I think everybody wants him to improve his 3-point shooting.
Sure.
Like,
Did shoot 33.7% on 3 attempts per game last season. It's not like the dude is, And
he talked
Chris
a lot.
Dunn.
He talked a lot about it. He talked a lot about it in his press conference about that was one of the things he wanted to focus on.
Yeah.
Was his 3-point shooting getting improved. So he knows it. So I was like, okay, I'll step away from that and I won't harp on that too much. But what I do want from him is to continue, as you mentioned, Matt, to do what he does. You know what I mean? And what you were kind of mentioning, Will, within that controlled chaos of being who he is a guy that can score, that can rebound, and that can get assists. And he had proven that because that's when you started seeing his names. And again, I'm with y'all. I'm not comparing him to none of these players, but his name was mentioned because of the numbers he put up with like an Oscar Robertson and with a LeBron James and, those kind of guys who are getting, and the Ben Simmons, who are getting those triple-doubles. So if there's somebody that can get those triple-doubles, who I think is going to have more opportunity and more time on the floor, I think he should increase those triple-doubles. The most he ever has is 4. Mm-hmm. He hit 4 triple-doubles his first season and his second when he had 3 last season. I figure with more time and more opportunity, let's see if you can get 7 triple-doubles this season for Mr. Giddey. I think that means if that's happening, we are fun bad if that is what's going on because he has the ball in his hand, he's getting the rebound, and he's pushing it up the floor, and he's finding Kobe White, Ayo Dosunmu, Patrick, whoever, and we're having a good time just running up and down the floor. If he's scoring, and I'm thinking like 10 points when I say those triple-doubles. I'm not thinking like a 20 or 15 or anything like that. Give me 10 simple points. But for me, that just shows that you are running and you are moving down the floor and things are fun for your team if you're getting that many triple doubles. So I would like to see him do that this season.
Some people in the comments also asking for some strong rebounding from Giddey. So that kind of goes in line with what you're asking for, Dave.
And that's exactly where I was going. It's like, what are the things that the Bulls have specifically stated so far that they want to see from Giddey? Rebounding, getting the ball up in transition, creating open shots for guys. So like that, if he's getting those triple doubles, that means that he's doing the things that the team wants from him.
Yes.
I have kind of fallen out of love with triple double as a thing. Like I think it's just like very arbitrary and random, like to have,
you go put 10 up 10
in your stat line.
It's very arbitrary.
I'm not saying I can do it. I'm just saying I think it's a silly thing that we put this weird level of importance on. But there is also the element of like just bottom line, if you have 10 points, 10 boards, 10 assists, that means that you put your stamp on a game and we're active in a lot of areas.
Yeah, and I was looking at the leaders for triple doubles. You know who led the league in triple doubles? Sabonis. Led the league in he had 26 triple doubles. Here's the thing, everybody in it. Sabonis, Jokic, Luka, Giannis, Josh Hart, LeBron James.
So other than Josh Hart, those are all like superstar players with super high usage.
That's my point. Like, what do we got in common here? We got winners and we got playoff teams. That's what you got in common here. Like, triple-double is important. Below him, it's Scotty Barnes, it's James Harden, and then it's Josh Giddey rounding up, and Anthony Davis rounding out that top 10 because he had 2 triple-doubles. No, it's still important. Teams that win have people that do this on their team. It's really, and at a high level. I'm not asking him to do it at a high level. I'm just asking him to get 7 of those things. If he gets like 20 plus or something like that, then we're talking about a different kind of NBA player if Josh Giddey is in that many triple-doubles.
So I think that's a good point, and I do agree with both what you and Matt are saying. I think that like the idea of a triple-double is a little bit glorified, but I think it's obviously important because it means you put your stamp on the game. The thing that I would caution people about is understanding that, okay, just because Giddey had 10, 10, and 10 does not necessarily mean that he impacted winning. And so I think that there's a tier of players who, like Sabonis, like Jokic,
Correct.
like LeBron, who get a ton of triple doubles because they had massive usage, because they're good rebounders for their position, because they're good scorers and good facilitators, and they draw 2 to the ball and make the right play. That is leading to winning basketball.
Correct.
And I think that the trap that people can fall into is, oh, this guy had a triple-double, that means he's good, which is not necessarily true. I think it's probably mostly true, but it's a good point because I think it leads me to my prove it, which is
lead in.
I want it to impact winning.
Segue go.
I don't want it to mean empty stats that he was able to score 10 points, get 10 rebounds and 10 assists. I want it to mean that he had a positive impact on the game. So for me, the prove it is positive on-off differential. That is something that he has not ever done over his career so far. Last year, his team was minus 1.7 points per 100 possessions with him on the court compared to when he sat. Meaning when he was on the court, they were almost 2 points per possession worse as a group than when he was on the bench, which is a bad sign. You want your team to be better when you're on the floor compared to when you're off. His second year, when he had his best season, minus 8.2 points per 100 possessions.
Holy moly.
When he was on the court compared to when he was off. So when the team had him on the court and then they took him off, they got 8.2 points per 100 possessions better. That's a huge, huge number. He did. I was wrong. He did have a positive point differential in his first year, but it was only a slight positive 0.3. So the last 2 years where he's really been kind of a primary piece in the Thunder offense, his team was better with him off the floor.
Yeah.
I want to see him be a player that the Bulls need on the court in order to be competitive.
Right.
We're not talking about winning 60 games this year or 50 or 40. We're talking about, is the team better with him on the court? That's what matters. Yeah. I don't care about like what kind of numbers he puts up. I don't care about like whether he shoots 33 or 35% from 3. It's like, are you making the team better? I think that is like that is the umbrella that all this other stuff falls into. If he improves his 3-point percentage by 2 points, if he gets 8 triple doubles this year, but the team is much worse with him on the court, that doesn't matter to me.
Yeah.
The team needs to be better with him on the court.
His second season, the one that was the most impressive statistically that people point to, is the one where his on-off number was the -8.
16th percentile in the entire NBA.
Yeah, that's, I mean, for all the people who throw the phrase empty calorie and next to Zach LaVine's name over the years, that's a pretty glaring example right there for Josh Giddey. That's
exactly what we're talking about. Because look, I think, and this is the perfect example too. If the Bulls go through this season and Giddey puts up 15 triple doubles and he averages 17, 8, and 8, and the Bulls win 25 games, and they say at the end of season press conference, yeah, we didn't play well, but we're keeping our pick here, and Josh Giddey put up some really big numbers, and we view him as a piece that we can build with going forward. Yeah, but like, are you now paying him because he put up a bunch of huge numbers on a bad team, and you think that means he's worth it going forward? Or is it because, yeah, he put up big numbers, but he's also +4 point differential, and that is the encouraging thing. So to me, it's like you have to kind of parse through some of that stuff to understand really whether he is impacting winning. And to me, that's the big thing for the Bulls front office is like, how can they separate themselves from the box score stats and say, is this guy actually going to impact winning long-term? Because that's worth paying for.
Right.
If you're going to give him $30 million a year, he can't be a -8 player.
No.
Period.
No, completely agree.
Sure can.
I will give this to him, though. Of those 11 triple-doubles he has in his career, I believe the record is 7-4.
Yeah.
When he does that. So
Again,
it has affected winning in some kind of way.
Yeah. I'm not saying that the triple-doubles don't matter. I'm just saying as long as he is impacting winning.
No, we're on the same page.
That's all that matters.
We're on the same page, sir. I'm not giving you that check.
Chocolate Aussie Bulls in the comments saying all of these goals you're setting for him will just overinflate Giddey's contract. there is an element to that too. Like we all want to see
exactly
Giddey
what I'm warning against.
Prove that he's capable of doing these things, and if he does,
so be good but not too good. It sounds like it's what's being said.
And like him getting up to 0, meaning neutral, meaning the team is neither better nor worse with him on the court. That would be a huge step forward compared to what he did last year when he was minus 1.7.
Yeah.
So getting to positive, he's impacting winning. The team is better with him on the court. That's where you're like, okay, this is a guy worth investing in. If he's actively making you worse, why are you investing in that? I think that's like what the Bulls really need to be thinking about.
Because people kept telling us we had to get something for Caruso. So,
but like at that point, it's better to let him walk than invest a lot of money into a player that's going to make you worse.
I agree.
And then have him stuck on your roster on a contract that nobody believes in and nobody's willing to trade for. That's how you set yourself back.
I agree. But
I was just being a smart ass.
Yeah, I don't think they're doing. I think they're going to sign him because I don't think they want to say we traded him, for Caruso and then we got nothing for it.
Yeah,
we only got 1 year to play this guy out of it. I think they're regardless of what he does. I think they're going to make an offer to him. Now, whether he keeps it or takes it, it's up to him. But I think an offer will be made.
The counter is, look what just happened with Zach LaVine. You can say he's a great player, he's a talented player, he puts up big numbers, but if he's not impacting winning, nobody is willing to trade for him.
Completely agree with you, Will.
The same thing is going to be true. If you overpay Giddey because he puts up big numbers, and now you're in a league where everybody else is smarter than that, sees through that, and knows that he's a losing player in the sense that his on-off differential is negative, then nobody's going to trade for that. So would it be better to pay him $30 million a year for 4 years to then have to be stuck with him? Or is it better to have that cap flexibility to not invest in him and maybe go out and try to find the next guy in free agency? To me, it's the latter, no questions asked.
Completely agree. I'm just telling you what they're going to do.
Yeah. And I think you're right. I'm
scary.
Getting ahead of that because I think that's the wrong approach.
You wanted to say something earlier, sir.
Oh, it was just a bad joke about how many of those triple-doubles include turnovers. See, we didn't need to go back to that.
No, I did need that. It made me laugh.
Hit that like button if you're hanging out with us on YouTube. While we spend the remainder of our time shifting gears and talking about the Orlando Magic, who finished as the 5th seed in the Eastern Conference this past season. I don't know if you have those 23-24 numbers that you want to throw up there, Law, but the Magic finished 47-35 regular season. Impressive. They did lose to the Cavs in the first round of the Eastern Conference playoffs after taking them to 7 games. You look at their offensive and defensive ratings, real clear. Offense, kind of poopy. Defense, elite.
Yes.
And that averaged out to a plus 2.1 net rating, which was smack dab middle of the pack, 15th net rating in the NBA. Part of that elite defense, as you see there, included the very best in forcing their opponents into turnovers, a 13.8 opponent turnover percentage. Also the second best defensive rebounding team in the NBA with a DRB percentage of 78.1 last season. For the most part, when you talk about offseason moves, and actually, we were talking Cavs the other day who swapped a Bickerstaff for an Atkinson. They, in March, so towards the home stretch of the regular season, pre-playoffs, signed Jamal Mosley to a new 4-year extension.
Well deserved.
So they are very much believers in Jamal Mosley down in Orlando right now. Yeah. And everything else they did this summer was keeping people around, like they re-signed their head coach Jamal Mosley. Leading with this, guys, Franz Wagner, who is a thorn in Bulls fans' side for a variety of reasons, gets signed to that rookie extension of 5 years and $224.2 million. Whoa.
Jordan Faye's back.
And, they were just signing checks all over the place. They renegotiated and extended Jonathan Isaac, now totaling 5 years, $84 million. They signed KCP away from Denver in free agency, 3 years, $66 million.
How you say no to that?
Also re-signing Batazde, $325, Mo Wagner, $222, and Gary Harris, $215. Free agency departures, not a whole lot lost there. Markelle Fultz, Joe Ingles, Chuma Kiki. Pardon me.
Yes, sir.
So this is a run-it-back team. This is another East team that was like, you know what? Let's run this back. What do we think, gentlemen?
You know what? Ooh, that's a lot of money.
It's a lot of money.
But they'll run it back. I don't know why. I know why it feels different. Because Paolo Banchero is, I know, going to be super up and coming and be there for a while. And just continuing to watch his growth into one of the best players in the NBA is going to be fun to watch. Whereas I know Donovan Mitchell is already there and he's, at his prime. And we're just kind of seeing how long that's going to occur. And then it's more questions of, well, will Mobley, take it over? Will Garland, finally improve on, certain things in his game, like defensively? Can they mesh? Can they match? Those questions aren't asked in Orlando. We already know that they can mesh, they match, they enjoy playing with each other. They're a young and hungry team. And that's definitely their tone setter is their coach. He sets the tone for that for sure. So I don't mind them going out and doing this and, buying into themselves and putting it on them. They had a very successful season last year, in my opinion, getting to that first round and taking it 7 games when a lot of people, including ourselves, didn't have it going even that long for 7 games. So I thought that was a win for them, and they're going to do nothing but improve on that, barring injury and things like that. But, yeah, I like the Magic. I mean, they destroy the Bulls every time they play the Bulls, and they can do it multiple ways. Wagner can go off. Banchero can go off. Wendell can hate rage his way into 20 points and rebound game against the Chicago Bulls. Suggs is just one of those guys you have to have on your team if you're going to be a winning team. Just that agitator and that guy that's not afraid of that big moment, actually wants to take the shot and be in those situations. They're just a really fun team to watch. Isaac, like, my God, defensively, like, just absolutely ridiculous. So I like what they're building over there. I really, really, really do. And I just think that they're hungry and they're buying into themselves, and I don't see anything wrong with that.
Yeah, and I don't want to understate the addition of KCP because I think he really does help give them some of the things that like they had the most trouble with.
Yeah.
Obviously, he doesn't sacrifice anything on the defensive end. He's an elite perimeter defender, but he's also a very high-level three-point shooter, and that adds to the floor spacing where they were just so congested with Paolo and Franz trying to, battering ram their way to the rim with no space on the floor. That's a very difficult thing to do. So adding that floor spacing, I think, will really help them. But to your point, Dave, it's like they have so much room still for internal growth, even outside of their top couple guys, which I would argue Franz and Paolo have more room for growth maybe than Garland and Mobley do in the Cavs situation. But you've still got, a bunch of young players. Anthony Black was the 6th overall pick last year. Who else? Jet Howard was the 11th pick that came from the Bulls in the Vooch trade. They just have
drafted Tristan Da Silva with the 18th pick this year.
Da Silva, they've got Cole Anthony,
Colorado,
and I think all those guys could obviously improve, but they could also package them into another player, which is I think they still. Whereas the Cavs don't. I think they're kind of out of moves right now, other than trading Jarrett Allen or Darius Garland, which they could do. I don't think the Magic are done here. I think they're maybe a little bit more patient than I would have been with this team because I saw, okay, last year they're an elite defense. Let's go out and get a star here. We've got the cap space. We've got the low cap hold of Franz Wagner. This could have been a big offseason for them in terms of going to get a star somehow. They've got all their draft picks. They've got additional draft picks. They can still make a big move. I probably would have been a little bit more aggressive given their success and the jump they made from 2 years ago to last year. But I think they're positioned really well to kind of see what they are for the first half of the season and make a big splash at the trade deadline if they need to. And I think that is like when they're kind of lumped into this category with the Pacers, with the Cavs, with, the Heat, some of these like second tier Eastern Conference teams. I think they could easily be the team that launches ahead of that, especially if they make a big move here with a lot of the pieces. Yeah. Because they still have a lot of, as good as they have been and as many young pieces that they have, I think they've got enough to like really upgrade at a position, and they've got areas where they can still do that.
And I love that you're saying that because, like you said, if they get to that trade deadline and things aren't going well for them, they can definitely package up those guys and get someone. Whereas Cleveland cannot do that. They just got what they got, and they just got to hope these guys play better.
Yeah. Goat, I think you're right with saying, KCP is not going to lessen how elite they were defensively last year. What can he add floor spacing wise? Kind of an up and down shooter. Because, to me, that's what will limit the Orlando Magic to just being a meh playoff team next year. Is can they actually take this offense and make it something modern?
Mm-hmm. You're going talking from Markelle Fultz and Anthony Black to KCP. That's a huge upgrade.
Yeah,
agreed. Agreed. And Paolo Banchero obviously leading the charge. 22 points per game, All-Star season in his second season, beast. But can he be more efficient with his looks?
Yeah,
and his looks from all over the floor.
That's exactly why.
Pound the rock. He gets the free throw line 7 times a game last season. He only shoots 72% from the line.
Yeah.
Can he increase that efficiency? Can he increase his 34% from the three-point line? Can we space this Magic offense out a little bit and, maintain an elite defense and maybe get closer to, top 15, top 10 offense with some of these other pieces? Then you're talking about a team that might be, making it past the first round.
Oh, absolutely right. And I was going to say everything kind of rides on Paolo. Like how if he improves and gets better, then guess what? So will the Magic, without a doubt. Even if they just stand pat with what they did last year, if he elevates his game, they're a way better basketball team, man. Because that dude has that potential to just be that kind of dominant in this league. We sat there and watched it. Second year All-Star, bro.
Yeah.
That man is that kind of skilled. So yeah, his improvement is more important than anybody's improvement on that team because he raises that ceiling and he raises your floor. He is everything for them, man. So if he does it, they're going to go far in the playoffs.
And how much better do they get even if just Franz Wagner shoots like he normally does from three? Last year, 28% on 4.5 threes per game. Year before that, 36. Year before that, his rookie year, 35.5. So he is a much better shooter than that. And if he makes, half of an additional 3 per game, gets the average back up to 35, that adds a couple of extra points to your offensive rating. That helps you space the floor and changes how defenses guard you. I think that's a low-hanging fruit that's just going to get better because that's how averages work.
Yeah. I mean, this Orlando team shelled out a lot of money this season, but they are looking like a team that's heading in the right direction.
Yeah.
But, we got Vooch, guys, so it's cool. Real quick before I get out of here, Adrian with a super chat in the comments. Appreciate you, buddy. Saying, is Halliburton the high-end comp for Giddey working out? Going back to our Giddey chat. I would say that is a very, very high-end comp.
I don't think so.
I think the styles of their games are different.
Halliburton is one of the best off-the-dribble three-point shooters in the league.
Yeah. Right.
It's like Steph.
And Hallie's got a weird release, and he's got kind of a slow release.
Yeah.
But he still makes them.
He's also 11 assists to 2 turnovers. I mean,
he does not turn it over.
I don't think they're anywhere close.
And also, shout out because Halliburton was on WWE yesterday, who was in Orlando, and he threw shots at the Orlando Magic while he was there.
Wow.
When the crowd started booing him, he said, it's okay. If I had to root for the Orlando Magic, I would boo too.
Yeah.
I was like, yo, shout out.
Yeah, when I was asking Giddey to have a assist-to-turnover ratio of 3.0 or better this upcoming season and rattling off those names, Halliburton was 4.88 last season. So... yes, I would say that the comparison is a bit high. That's it. We are out of time for today. Hope everybody enjoyed the show. Hit the like button on your way out. If you watch on YouTube, we appreciate it. Make sure you subscribe to the CHGO Sports YouTube channel. Shout out to everybody who also follows on Insta. We hit 25K on Insta today. The CHGO Sports main account. Become a CHGO diehard. What are you waiting for? Pennies a day for an annual membership with perks on perks on perks. Discounts every time you shop. Discounts on our events. Come hang out with us. Joe's on weed for the Bears' third game of the season. Big day. Big Davies at Pal, BNWL Sports. Willie Go Gottlieb, Will_Gottlieb. Shout out to our guy on the controls, one and only Law on the draw. I'm Bulls_Peck. We are CHGO_Bulls. Another show tomorrow, same time, same place, 4 p.m. Central. Have a great night. We'll talk to you then. See you. Be good.
Peace.
We all silly like the mayor.